All right.
That's the last of them, Elizabeth.
Good riddance, evil bastards.
All right, there we go. That's all I needed. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on this next episode of A Quest for the Lost. So this time we are wrapping up the quest for Ager's Scepter, the seasonal exotic this time. There was a lot more that went into this quest. Give me just a second. Let me go ahead and return to orbit, and we should be good to... Damn it. Okay, let me return to orbit, and we should be good to discuss the goings-on of this tragic episode. So, we already did a good bit of the quest. All this was already done. We visited Marsov. We found all the Atlas SKUs. We went to the we did the mission. We calibrated everything. We spoke to Mara. A lot of stuff we did. Probably about 2 hours worth of recording, and it got deleted. Yay! But I went ahead and wrapped up the step I was currently on. It was doing 3 strike missions. And now we see where we pick ourselves back up from. All right, here we go. So we're back. Oh, I have to talk directly to Mara. So going through the portal. Whoop. Mara looks pleased as you approach. Not enough space. You enacted my commands. The strands of nobility stolen from the dreaming city have been reassembled, and now I grant you this, a noble seal. It will deactivate the Scepter security screen and allow you to take it. She exhales. Zivurath isn't the type to lie down and die when beaten. Expect her minions to be waiting for you. No one lays claim to what is mine. Arm yourself with Ager's Scepter and send her thieves screaming to their graves. If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to take up a weapon slot. I'm not sure which one, though. I really need to clean out my inventory. Okay. Here we go. New step. Claim Ager's Scepter from its protective shield. A hollow coronation. Let's begin. Alright, here we go. Shoop. And there it is. Ager's Scepter. Oh, it's a kinetic. It's a kinetic trace rifle. Nice. Use Ager's Scepter to carve a path out. So this is what we get to use on the rocks in the Shattered Realm. Interesting. Huh. Wait. This is... Who are you? Die. Awful dramatic music. Was someone about to be covered in nades? Oh, you're green. Why are you so green? Well, drat. I was just about to get my infininades. Rebuke the plunderers. Huh. Oh, I guess this is gonna help with stasis, like progress with the stranger. Where's that ogre? Oh, he's dead. just try and clear this room. Oh, they're just going to keep spawning. Okay, so they're just going to keep spawning until you die. So let's just finish you off. Clear the room, and then we should be good to go. Excuse you. Thank you. I don't even need the Infininates. For you, the melee did it. Return to the helm to speak with Queen Marisol.
Zivo-Arath's subordinate came to my doorstep as a thief. Their death is the price of encroachment. Ager's scepter carves pathways toward one's goals. The compass you carry is based off the same principles as this weapon. In Uldren's hands, it could have connected every edge of my kingdom. Through Zivo-Arath, it would grant an omnipresence within the reef even I could not subdue. Deliver it safely to me. While it may never be Uldren's, it may yet serve to guide what he has become.
There was... Oh. There was a bit of dialogue in the radio that I failed to record for this episode, I guess you could say. Well, it is the last episode of Quest for the Lost, the one that I actually covered the seasonal content. And it was very interesting because it's like Mara's searching for someone to blame for Uldren dying and becoming Crow, and it's like she understood back in Forsaken, whenever you saw her during the Strong Week of the Curse and you went to her throne world, she understood why we had to kill Uldren. He was sacrificing people in groves in order to gain power with the Scorn. But it's like the worst part of it is that he's come back as a guardian. Like, she describes it as a cruel kindness, the fact that he's there but he's not. I think at some point we need to tell him. But if we need to tell him, then we all need to sit down together and tell him. Oh, cutscene?
So you wish to hear the rest of my brother's story? Fine. I will oblige you. When the storm came, Riga and Ager rode the winds to meet it. A fleet of talons at their back. A great battle ensued. The storm took, as was its nature. Many fell, Ager among them. Riga could only watch as he tumbled down, 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 until her heart beat alone. She dove into the storm, giving herself to destroy it. Riga's spirit ascended higher into the sky, where she hoped to reunite with her brother. Instead, she met the thing that sent the storm. A bottomless well of grief, unreachable by reasoning or bargaining or violence. A voice in the darkness. And so, Riga gathered her feathers into an aegis of wings to shield the world below. But over the years, feathers broke away. Futility wore thin her resolve. Then, one day, her heart began to beat as it once had. Doubled, distant, but different. A beautiful echo. Hope called her home. And though she prayed to find Ager there, he never returned.
Okay, so of course this is the story of Mara and Uldren. We knew that from the beginning. So what she was referencing was their attack on the Taken King, which took Uldren, and she sacrificed herself, but didn't fully die. She kind of went into her ascendant plane, and she doesn't. It's hard to explain. Like, I know bits and pieces of what's going on, but I wasn't there during the attack of the Taken King, so I don't fully know. But it's interesting, to say the least.
I still feel Uldren's heartbeat somewhere out there. When your crow first stood in my halls, I saw an ember of my Uldren burning in his breast. Curiosity and a sibling fondness told me I could stoke that ember. I hope it is not a lie. I hope he is more than the last ebb of hot ash from a long dead flame. Many of his faults were not of his own making. Uldren's decisions were his, of course, but driven by whips in the hands of others. Myself included. I will have to offer him more than an old story of an empty promise if I wish to see that ember burn again. This is the path I led Uldren down. If certain actors had kept to their roles, I would have wielded Uldren Sov, Light-Bearer. But even Mara Sov cannot control everyone. I celebrate his resurrection in the light, but I detest seeing my brother rewritten, his greater self sloughed away and swept into the cellar. There is still good to draw from who he was. Don't squander it. He needs a star to guide him. Uldren or Crow, they are the same in that regard. Ager's scepter is yours, then. Both its burden and the freedom it can provide. Be careful with it, Guardian. He is prone to devotion.
Huh. Okay, so that last line, he is prone to devotion, was, of course, about Crow. And the whole time, so this whole time we've been focused on, this whole season, we've been focused on Crow, his similarities to Uldren, how the personality is still intact. He's a new person with new memories, because it's effectively like hitting a restart on the same person. So he has the same acts, the same mannerisms, the same voice. It's just the new memories and the new reshaping of a personality based on nature and nurture. So Mara sees this and sees that he's beyond. She can't force him to come back to Uldren. So she's got to stick with Crow instead of Uldren Zav. And the thing is Crow is more inclined to peace than Uldren was. Now, and I think she's realized that his devotion to her no longer exists. And so that was the key thing that kept her in control of her brother. But now she's holding us accountable. Now she's saying he's yours to look after, make sure he's okay. And then warning us of the burden that becomes. Because he was very devoted to Osiris, and now look where that got him. Mara Sov tells you that Uldren and Crow are not so dissimilar. She states that this has been said to you before, but she believes it merits restatement. Mara pauses for a moment. He will look to you now. For all the love Uldren held in his heart for me, Crow holds respect for you, she says, handing you Ager's scepter. She is glad to know it is in capable hands, with Orokin royalty close behind. She tells you that if your hunter friend ever remembers his noble beginnings and wishes to pursue them, you should guide him home to bequeath to him Ager's scepter. It is his, after all, she notes. Mara tells you that until that day comes, she holds you accountable for looking after Crow. So she also talks about him being his potential for leadership, his potential for standing. And I can't help but feel like this has to reference in him inevitably becoming the Hunter Vanguard. He won the Hunter's Dare. He killed Cade 6, and therefore, Uldren killed Cade 6, but Uldren can't become the Hunter Vanguard because Uldren is not a Guardian. Crow, however, is the Guardian from Uldren Zov. So part of me feels like he is going to become the Hunter Vanguard, and that's what this is alluding to. And that's it. It's all she wrote. A Hollow Coronation quest complete. This is definitely a shorter episode than before. Like I said, a good chunk of content. I think I ran the Ascendant Challenge, the Ascendant Alignment, the seasonal activity. I think I ran that like a good 5 times. Did 3 strikes, did a ton of crap. And here we are. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this episode. Thank you so much for helping me finish this part of the series. This chapter of a season of the Lost is done. We have Ager Scepter. Mara is slowly starting to realize that she can't pull Crow back into the nest, so she has to learn to look from afar. Part of me hopes that they can eventually get the kind of relationship that Anna Bray and Elsie Bray have, where they acknowledge that they are siblings but still divided by that Lightbearer title. But only time will tell. Let's see where this goes. Thank you so much for joining me in this chapter of the adventure. I look so forward to seeing where the Quest of the Lost continues and where this season takes us. We don't have much longer to go. We're probably about halfway through. October starts Festival of the Lost, so Season of the Lost is going to end this month. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. And come see me again. Just make sure you go the way the crow flies.